Hello, puggies, and welcome to the Livin the Pug Life show, brought to you by Pug Parties, because your pug deserves to be the best dressed pug at the party. I'm your host, Donna, and tonight my co-host is no one. I have been ditched by Rosie and Charles in favour of Dad and the couch and a very warm blanket. I'm a little bit offended, I have to admit. But anyway, this week's episode was pre-recorded due to the time difference between Melbourne and the US, and I can say that I'm really looking forward to watching the replay with you, as I really enjoyed talking to Candy and getting to know her puggy Penelope, or P, as Candy likes to call her. This beautiful little girl's story is one that will pull at your heartstrings, and I promise ends with a happily pug ever after. Candy was considering a new pug love after losing her girl, Miss Molly, the inspiration for her blog and Etsy store, Pugpalooza, which we do talk about as well, when the universe placed Penelope in her path just at the right time. And the rest, as they say, is Puggie-history. So please join me as we watch this week's episode together and we get to know Penelope and Candy. Hello. Hello, cutie.
You say hi? Yeah. You tell them hi. Yeah.
Oh, look at that face. That's definitely I love mum face.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a mama's girl.
Very nice. Nobody else's doesn't like share time between you and Nan and Pop or something?
Nope. Pretty much she kind of likes my mom and she kind of likes my son, but she's pretty much 100% mama's girl.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'm dead to Rosie and Charles the second Poppy walks through the door. Like, Mum, who? So no, when my dad walks in the door, that's it. I'm nothing to them until he leaves. And even then, they stand at the end of the passageway to the door. You can see the look on their face, like, "Don't go, Poppy." I think it's more to do with I think it's because he gives them bacon whenever whenever he has breakfast. So, and I don't.
That would make a difference.
Yeah. So what inspired you to become a pug parent?
Well, I've always had pugs. My mom and dad, when I was growing up, I was like 1 year old, and my first dog was a pug, and my mom and dad raised pugs for a while, and then so I've kind of had them my whole life. When my oldest son was a year old, we got him a pug named Charlie, and then when my youngest son was in college, starting college, he decided he needed a pug puppy. So that's when I got Molly, and then after Molly came Penelope. So I just kind of always had pugs, always loved pugs, and pugs are just my thing. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, you should get a lab or something." I'm like, I love labs and I've had labs, but I'm just a pug mom. I mean, I that's my first love. I love their personalities. I love everything about them. So, and they just make the best companion dogs ever. So I'll probably never quit being a pug mom. That's who I am. So
I'm so jealous.
I just absolutely adore them.
Absolutely jealous. I didn't get pugs until I was in my 20s. I grew up with hunting dogs, so I had to wait until I was my own adult. And your sons, even better. They got their own pugs. That's incredible.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, well, they heard their mom talk about, how amazing pugs were their whole life. So, they didn't really have a choice. They just, they just had to love them. So
just pug brainwashed.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and Penelope. How did you guys meet?
Well, I tell you what, the story really kind of starts with Molly. When Jacob's my youngest son, he was in college. Like I told you, he decided he wanted a pug puppy, and so I said okay. And I was going back to college at the time too. So we were actually both in college at the same time. And I said, "Are you sure it's a good time to get a pug, because they demand a lot of attention?" And we're both in college. "Oh yes, Mom, I definitely want a pug." And so he talked me into it, and we found this 6-week-old puppy. And I'm gonna tell you what, she, pugs are exceptional dogs, but I do have to say that she was more than exceptional. And we just absolutely fell in love with her, both of us. And we raised her together. She was our dog. And we created Pugpalooza because of Molly. And we started making all kinds of dog crafts and dog bandanas and just all kinds of fun stuff, dog signs. And first we just did it kind of for fun, and then it kind of started to become a business. So we kind of started thinking, about doing it as a business, and we turned it into a business. And I heard a name. Somebody had a name. They said Puggalooza or Pugloza or something. Well, I took that name and just turned it into Pugpalooza because I wanted a real unique name. So I just added a P and an A, and that's kind of how Pugpalooza came about. And Molly was one of these dogs that she would do anything to take a picture. She loved to do photos. In fact, I would have a back. I'm a photographer. One of my degrees is in photography, and so I usually had a backdrop set up in my house somewhere. And all I would have to do was say, "Hey, Molly, you want to go take pictures?" And she would just go right to that backdrop and just sit there for hours. And it didn't matter what I put on her, clothes or pajamas or bandanas or hats or whatever. She would just sit there and pose. And the same when we were out and about, I could set her 50 yards from me and say, "Stay," and she would not move. And I could just photography of her all day long, and she just loved it. And we had her until she was 8 years old, and Molly did not want me to know she was sick. She was just that type of dog. She ended up getting cancer, and she didn't want me to know it. She just acted like everything was fine. And there was a couple times that I kind of thought, I wonder if she doesn't feel good, but she never showed it. She just didn't want me to know it. And so when I did figure it out, finally, it was too late.
Oh no.
And so we ended up losing her in 2020. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it about killed me.
Yes.
I cried for weeks, in fact, probably months. And my mom, she was like, "Okay, kiddo, you have to just, you have to get," and she cried with me because she loved Molly. And finally she said, one day I was sitting out on her porch, and we had buried Molly. I could not stand to cremate her because I couldn't stand the thought of her burning. And don't ask me why, it's just me. So I buried her. I buried her in this tub, and I closed her in this lid. She was all closed in and tucked in and had her favorite toys and all kinds of stuff. And like I say, it about killed me. And my mom, so finally I just sat on her porch for weeks, and just my heart was broke. I didn't even know at that point if I really wanted to continue Pugpalooza. And I thought about closing the business because I said, it was Molly's, and Molly's gone. And I really didn't know what to do at that point. Finally, my mom said, let's just go to a place where a guy breeds pugs, and let's just go see him. That will cheer you up. Cheer us both up. And I said,
a lovely idea.
"Mom, I don't think I can do it." And she said, "Yeah." She said, "No, let's just go, and you can pet him and you can play with him. It'll make you feel better." And I said, "Okay." So she finally talked me into it. We drove over there. We found a guy, and we got there, and all these pugs were running around, and they were he had probably 30 or 40 of them. He breeds pugs. And they were giving kisses, and I was just so happy. I was like in heaven. And of course, it was kind of tearful too because it made me miss Molly. And so I was playing with all of them, and this little girl, Penelope, she was sitting in the back of a cage, and she was just kind of sitting there, and I asked the guy, I said, well, what's the deal with this little pug? Well, he said she never got very big, so I never bred her. So she just spent 2 years of her life in a cage. She just sat there in this cage. And I was like, oh my goodness. And he had a 5-year-old that he said, if he said, you should get another pug. Of course I knew that was coming. And I said, I just don't know if I'm ready. And so we went home, Mom and I went home, and I called him back and I said, well, if I were to get one, I said, cost and stuff. And we talked about that. And he said, well, if you want to buy Penelope. And I said, now who's Penelope? The little girl in the cage? And he said, yeah. He said, you could get her, or he had this 5-year-old. So I talked to Mom and I said, I feel like, she said, I think you should get one, Candy. And I said, well, I feel like maybe I should buy the little girl in the kennel, because I said she spent 2 years there. And I said, I hate the thought of that.
Yes.
And I said, I really think she just needs to see the world. And I said, I can show her the world. And Mom said, I agree. So it took a few weeks and a lot more tears. And finally I decided I was going to get her. So I went back over and got her, and she was honestly, she had breathing problems. I had to have her soft palate shortened a little bit when I got her. She still has some breathing problems, but it's better. She had never been up steps. She didn't know how to walk up steps. She was scared to death of people, never been in a house. And so we had a lot of learning to do, but I'll tell you what, she is the best house puppy ever. She never potties in the house. She's just wonderful. Wow. She has a great personality. She kind of missed out, I think, on, when puppies learn to play, because she probably went from being a puppy to a cage. But we have learned to play, and we go to the park all the time and walk, and she is just the best puppy ever. And I kind of feel like, when I lost Molly, I kind of feel like Molly sent Penelope, to me to help with her loss. And so, that makes me happy when I think about it that way. Sorry, that was kind of a long story.
No, it was wonderful. I was on the edge of my seat listening to everything, and I agree. I mean, when you said that Penelope had been in a cage for 2 years, my heart went out to her.
Yeah, mine too. And I just, she looks sad in that cage, and I can't stand that. I mean, pugs, they deserve more than that, yes. And I'll tell you what, Molly and I's dream was always to put up a building and expand Pugpalooza. And that's still my dream. After I got Penelope, Mom said, Candy, I don't think you should give up on Pugpalooza, because she said, you and Molly started something great. And she said, I think you should keep it. And she said, Molly will always be a part of that. And she's right. She still is. And I got a big picture of her up on my wall. And I talk to the picture, that may sound crazy,
yes.
but
no, I do the same thing too.
But I still want to expand Pugpalooza, and I still want to put a building up, and I still want to raise pugs. But I'll tell you what, when I raise pugs, they will live in a house with me. They will not be in a cage, and they'll have all kinds of room to run and to sleep and to, do whatever they want to do, because I think that's the way it should be.
Yes.
I don't like, I'm not gonna talk against people that have them in cages. I know that some people, that's the way they do it. That's fine. That's just not me. I want them to be free, and I want them to be happy, and I want them to run or play or do whatever they want to do. And that's just the kind of mom I'm going to be. So,
well, here in Australia, they're slowly changing the laws to stop that from happening. So, it's called Oscar's law in Australia, and you can't breed in a cage in certain states. They're slowly working through, a bit like you guys. You've got to go through every state to change the rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, I agree. They should. I get that obviously they need to be sort of boxed in inverted commas, for want of a better term, when they're puppies, so they don't get hurt, but not at the age of 2.
Right. No, I'll put up little, little gates and stuff that they, they can, where they can have their puppies, that kind of stuff. But as far as, them living in cages, no, I'm never going to do that.
No, I completely agree. So you decided to keep Penelope's name? You didn't want to change it?
I did not. And it's kind of funny. I told my mom, I said, I kind of think that Molly sent me over here to see Penelope because my favorite show in the world is Criminal Minds, and I love the character Penelope. So,
no, I love it too.
When I seen her, so my mom was like, "Yeah, this is just fate," I said, "Yeah." So when I seen her, I was like, "That's perfect." I mean, I knew that she was the dog that I was supposed to take home and help me with Molly's loss. And so that was just, that just kind of sealed the deal.
Just match made in heaven. Absolutely. I wasn't expecting that. That's for sure. It's funny how some people, their association with names is always to something significant within their life, whatever that might be.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
So how would you describe Penelope's personality? And is she, does she have a naughty trait that drives you up the wall, but that you still love?
Penelope was really, like, on the way home, it was almost as if she just bonded with me. And then she did not, she still has separation anxiety. She just does not want to be away from me at all. And I love that. I teach at a college down here, so I'm away from her a few hours a week, but not much because I teach a lot of online stuff. So Penelope has the most fun personality. She's funny and she's quirky, and she just has her own little time schedule. So she wants to do certain things at a certain time, which is fine, as long as I can figure out what she wants. And she gets on these little running kicks like pugs do, and I love it because she can't do it at a big, she can't do a lot of running and she can't do a lot of walking at the park because of her breathing, but she does it in little spurts. So it's really cute, and she just, she's learned to play with different toys, which she didn't have any idea what to do with the toy when I first got her, but she loves the little squeaky things. And I have this snake that you kind of shake and it makes this crazy noise, and you do that when she's feeling really good, and she'll just turn in circles, and she just plays and plays with it, and she'll run around the house and she'll throw it up in the air, and so I just spend my time laughing at her. I mean, she's just so funny. She can entertain herself, and I'd like to get another pug, for her to play with, but she honestly just entertains herself. I mean, she's a
one pug house kind of pug.
Well, right now she is, yes. Yes. I keep telling her if I expand my business and I raise other pugs, I tell her she's going to be the boss, so she gets to boss everybody else around. So she'll think that's pretty neat, I think,
Yes, I tell Rosie and Charles when we have do photo shoots for pug parties that they are the head pug supermodels. It's okay if you don't get your photo done today because you've got it all other 365 days of the year.
That's right. That's right. Penelope has learned, after I lost Molly, I decided I needed to show Penelope how to do all the photography stuff. And so it took her a little bit, to catch on. She didn't really know the sit still thing, so we had to work on that a little bit, but she's got it down now. She's the best model ever. So, yeah.
Basking in that photographic glory.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And of course, I have an Etsy store and we have a pug blog. So she gets to be the model for everything, So any new bandanas or necklaces or ornaments or anything that we've made, she gets to try them on and have her photo taken. So she thinks she's pretty special.
Oh, definitely that.
She knows she's pretty special.
She is definitely special. We will get to the store in a minute because I do want to talk about it. Now, there was a question that just floated into my head. So Penelope is your teacher's aide for all of your online training. Does she make special appearances for the students?
Actually, she has not been to any schools, but when Molly was alive, I wrote 5 children's books about Molly and did the photography and wrote them the whole works. And Molly used to visit nursing homes and schools. And Penelope, I haven't taken her to one yet, but she's got a couple requests, so we might do that in the fall. So yeah, one of the schools that Molly always went to, they have asked Penelope to come. So they know that I lost Molly. So the teacher said, oh, the kids were so sad when they heard that. And I told them, I said, well, I got another pug, Penelope. And they said, oh, we want to see her. So we'll probably do some schools in the fall.
Oh, very
that'll give her a chance. And she loves kids. So she would really like that. So
that's amazing, especially noting that for the first 2 years of her life, she really didn't know human affection whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, she just eats that up. I mean, she just absolutely loves to be petted. She loves little kids. She just, she'll just go over and stand and look at them like, please pet me, So she's just got the softest heart. It's very, very, it's very, very touching. It's very, very cute.
Just beautiful. What's Penelope's favorite activity or adventure?
Penelope loves to go to the park. She absolutely, when I say let's go to the park, she is down off this chair and she is standing at the door. She loves to go to the park. And we did, honestly, like I say, she can't walk real fast because of her breathing issues, but we just walk slow and I let her smell everything, every bush, every stick, and we just take our time and she loves it. So she loves to see people at the park. She loves to meet other dogs. We do a farmer's market every week where we take our Pugpalooza stuff, and she just eats that up because the people everybody comes and wants to pet her, and she just thinks that's terrific. So
all her adoring fans have come to pay homage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's a good
She's
segue
like
into
queen of the castle, queen of the show.
Yes. So Pugpalooza, how I come across it originally was with your blog, and then I realized that you also had an Etsy store. So and obviously Miss Molly was the inspiration for that. So why a blog out of anything that you could have done?
Well, when I hear years back, 2017 or 2018, I wanted a blog. I didn't have any idea what to blog about, but I'm a writer, journalist. That's what my training is, photographer. And then I have degrees in communication too. So I knew I wanted to write. I just did not know what to blog about. And so I got on this training deal that some lady was talking about a blog, and I listened to it for several weeks and I was learning everything I could do. And she said, finally, she offered like a 60-day program, and they offered it for, I think it was like $10 or $20. It was like major discount. And I was like, ooh, that sounds pretty good. And of course, there again, I didn't have any idea what to blog about. But I told this lady, I wrote to her and I said, I would like to join this training. And she said, okay. She said, do you know what you want to blog about? And I said, no. And she said, well, that's okay. You don't need to know at this point. I said, okay. So I joined it, and every single day we had something to do on this blog. So we were creating the blog is what it was. And so every single day we had something to do on that blog. And when we got to where we needed to decide what we were going to blog about, she put out some thought questions like, what do you love, and what's your passion, and all this kind of stuff. So I spent a couple days and thought about that, and I thought, my first love is pugs. It just is, so the next day I got a hold of her and I said, I don't know if this is even an option, but I said, I love pugs. I love being a pug mom. And she said, oh, Candy, that's perfect. And I said, really? And she said, yes. She said, that is perfect. And because she said, number one, it's a niche, like, so not just dogs, but specifically pugs. And she said, so you can actually go with like pug specific, or you can branch out and do dogs, and then pugs, like, specifically pugs. And I said, okay. So that's kind of how it got started. And I worked with a guy here, oh gosh, I would say probably 15 years ago at a small town newspaper. And when my boys were still teenagers, and him and I became super good friends, him and his wife and me, and they're my business partners now. So, and they live in California. So it's so much fun because, we collaborate and we have these meetings every week, and we're trying to grow this blog and, to get more traffic and things that, blogs do. And it's just a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with it. We do contests and we sell things, and he writes some of the articles and I write some of the articles, and, we kind of collaborate on that. And so we're just having a ball with it.
No, and I love it. As I said in my message to you a few days ago, I don't always get to read every one of them, but the ones that I do read, I really do enjoy reading.
Right.
And they're a great length for someone who actually does like reading blogs, but doesn't always have the time to do it. And there's some really interesting topics. And the first thing is I've just drawn an absolute mental blank. The last one that I read, it was one about one of your presidents, I think. Was it Lincoln?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was.
I think that was one I wrote.
It was such a great article, and as I said, there's other ones that I have read that I can't think off the top of my mind. So, and I love the fact that you share them in the Pug-life Facebook group, because basically it is crazy pug mums who really want to learn new things about their pugs. It's definitely a great way of just learning something new that's bite-sized, that isn't always the same stuff that you see about pugs all the time. So
right.
So no.
Yeah, and we feature a pug, like we do Pug of the Month. We do that once a month, and then we feature a product, a dog product. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. A dog product once a month. So actually, Ike sends me a product that I don't even know what I'm getting, and then I use it for a month, and then I review it. So it's kind of nice for pug parents, because like the last product we did was like a cooling mat, and I thought, oh, that's perfect because summer's coming, and Penelope gets really hot, and so I just posted that one on the blog. So we'll see what kind of response we get from that, but yeah, it's kind of fun. So we're adding stuff to the blog all the time. So we're always trying to figure out what we can do that's new and fun, and that pug parents would like. So if any of your readers have any ideas, tell them we're we're always open to ideas.
Right, viewers, you heard the call out. You need to let Candy know. So if one of our
Yes.
viewers wanted to be Pug of the Month, how do they do that?
Just send me a message on Messenger through Facebook, and I'll send you a sheet. We've kind of made out a sheet that has questions on it about your pug and its name, where you got it, its personality, kind of questions that we've talked about today. And I'll send them that form, and they just give it back to me, and that's how we do it. And then I'll write the article up, and you'll send me some pictures, and we put them on Pugpalooza, and it's a lot of fun. So we've had a lot of fun. We've had more response. Yeah, we've had more response from that than anything else we've done. So people really like that.
So how many photos? Because as we were talking before, I asked for a certain number of photos to go with your show, right. And how difficult it is right. to take thousands down.
Right. Yes. Yes. My phone is completely full of them, and my hard drives, and oh my goodness. So we usually ask for like 5 to 6 photos. But I mean, sometimes we post more. Sometimes, people only send 3 or 4. So, it's just kind of whatever they send. We just go through them and pick out the ones that we think will showcase the animal, your pet, the best. And that's kind of how we choose them. So, yeah.
Nice. That's lovely. Well, hopefully I'll make sure that I put all the details in the show's comment section. So anyone who wants yes. international exposure, because you're US based, then I can hear Rosie and Charles's little ears picking up. They're just sort of like, what?
Yeah.
So what does the Etsy store cover?
Oh gosh. Etsy is called Pugpalooza, just like everything else. There's a banner with Molly's picture on it, and it kind of showcases what we have. But normally we make things like bandanas, T-shirts. This T-shirt that I have on, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
It's Dog Mom, if you can see that.
Yes, love it.
We designed that at like 2 a.m. in the morning, believe it or not. Ike and I were corresponding back, and we were trying to come up with a Dog Mom T-shirt that was different than anybody else's. And at 2 a.m. this is what we came up with. So, but we sell mugs, we sell ornaments, we have, oh gosh, what else do we have? We have wood, all kinds of wood dog stuff. We have dog necklaces, which is one of our biggest sellers online, actually. We have coasters, we have dog kitchen towels, we have ruffled pillows, we have blankets. So just all kinds of fun dog stuff. And we're hoping this fall, leather kind of shot through the roof. And so after this pandemic thing, we kind of had to reevaluate some of our products because wood skyrocketed and some of this stuff. But we're wanting to start a leather line where we make like the little leather earrings and bracelets and billfolds, stuff like that. So hopefully when leather goes down a little bit more, we'll be able to do that. But it's just a lot of fun. We try to come up with just really, our newest product is canvas bags, and we have just launched that. And in fact, I think a few of them on Facebook, but I have a lot more to put on this next. I'm gearing up for a craft show coming up in June, so we've made a lot of new designs and stuff like that. So we're kind of gearing up for that, and I'll be putting a bunch more products on Etsy in the next week or two. So, yeah.
Oh, look, okay. Little Miss Penelope's decided that she's tired of being...
Yeah, she's decided she's going to sit on my lap now.
Oh, I love the way she looks at you.
Yeah. Oh, she's
Just
yeah, it's almost
oh,
like, thanks for saving me, mommy.
I
She's a
know, it's
little doll.
beautiful. She's just beautiful. I'm very jealous.
Yeah.
I don't always get that look. Actually, I have to share it
I
because
really,
obviously Rosie's a daddy's girl
yes.
and Charles is a mummy's boy. So I've got
Aw. I just really enjoy her. So,
oh no,
yeah.
she's just beautiful. So my last question is because you were talking
Yeah.
about photographic pugs. I know I have my experiences, good and bad. What do you think is the most difficult thing about photographing a pug?
Pugs have this, pugs make you have this sense of, how do I put this? That you can trust them, and you really can't. I mean, and it's not because they're a bad dog. It's just that they are so spontaneous that, like, if they see another dog or a person or something, they'll just run across the street and they don't think anything about it. They think that everybody's going to stop for them, and so they really give you this false sense of trust, that that
Hmm.
you, when you're photographing them, you really, especially if you're out and about, you really have to watch that they don't just dart somewhere, because they will, and like I say, I think they just think that they own the world, and everybody's going to stop for them, and nobody's going to bother them, nobody's going to hurt them, and so so I really think that's the biggest challenge when you're photographing, is you really just have to keep a really good eye on them when you take them off the leash, and when I photograph Penelope, I like to take her harness off because I don't want it in the photo.
Yeah.
I want them to be able to see her. And so it's kind of like, well, can I trust you or can I not? And most of the time it's not, you know, as much as I love her. So I either have somebody there that's, gonna grab her when she darts,
Does
or, when
the
she sees somebody else. Yeah. But so I mean, that's one of the challenges, but they're just, they're funny and they're playful, and sometimes it's hard to get them to sit still, but they're just delightful. I mean, and when I photograph mine, I just, I want their personality to show, so I just kind of let them do their thing, and I just photograph them like that. So
no, I agree. Like pugs don't smile all the time. They have a grumpy face or they
right.
have a are you serious mum face. So,
Yes.
and I love all of those
Yes.
pictures because that's kind of I think it's the great thing about a pug. Their
Right.
face is so expressive. You should see all of
Right.
those expressions. Oh, I just want to take a photo of the
Yes.
look she's got right now looking at you though. Oh my God. She just
There's a mama's girl.
oh my
There's a mama
God,
girl.
yes.
Yeah.
Just beautiful. Now, one
Yeah.
last question. It's my favorite question out
Yeah.
of the whole wide world. What is Penelope's favorite outfit and where does she wear it?
Her outfit. Oh gosh. Penelope honestly has got more clothes than I do.
Same, same.
Her favorite Yeah. Her favorite outfit probably is a pair of pajamas, flannel pajamas, and she wears them mostly in the wintertime when it's cool.
Yeah.
And when I put them on her, and they're kind of uh, they're kind of a furry, I don't know, type of material, flannel material, but they're really soft, and it's kind of a giraffe print, so it's kind of a brown and whatever print, and I just found it and I thought it was
Very cute.
adorable. And so when I put them on her, she just snuggles down in her bed or her blanket, and she just instantly asleep. So she just, yeah, she loves them. But she
Oh,
wears all kinds of bandanas, and I mean all kinds of stuff, because like I say, she models all of our clothes, and
yeah.
so yeah, she has her own closet, and she has more clothes than I have.
Same with Rosie and Charles. It's a bit embarrassing sometimes.
Yes. Yes, definitely. When you have to pick out your pug's clothes and she's got so many, you don't know what to, don't know what to put on her.
Or even worse, you're in trackies
But,
and they're in a dress looking all spectacular with
yes.
pearls and things. And you just like, you feel like the frumpy nanny.
Right. Yes.
Terribly sorry. I'm getting over a cold and I just cannot get rid of the cough. It's terrible. So,
yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was wonderful talking to you both about Molly and Penelope and also Pugpalooza. For our viewers, I will make sure that I have all the links in the comments section below after the show so everyone can check them out. And I look forward to your next blog.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you reading. And like I say, it's a lot of fun. And if anybody has any, suggestions, we are totally open to those anytime. So that would be wonderful. And thank you for having us on the show. This was a lot of fun.
No, thank you. It's always fun for me. So I love to share the enjoyment and the pugginess.
Yes.
Catch you next
absolutely.
time.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Well, Puggies, I don't know about you, but I loved watching that episode all over again. It's always wonderful to watch it with you as opposed to when we're doing it live, and I have to keep thinking about the next question as we're going on. So there's always a bonus to doing a pre-recorded show as opposed to doing it live. Even though I do love doing it live with you guys, even when we technically have a bit of a problem with the video. So I do apologise for the technical difficulties we had at the start of the show. Thankfully, it was a quick fix. So thank you for joining us again tonight. As always, I hope you had as good a time as I did getting to know Candy and Penelope. And also getting a bit of a look into their pug-focused business called Pugpalooza. So I hope you check it out. I'm definitely checking out the necklaces. So they will be, because it's very early in the morning in the US at the moment. So both Penelope and Candy will be checking out all of your comments later. So it's not too late to say hello and let them know what it was about their show that you loved the most. For me, there were loads of points. Now, Puggies, don't forget, if you'd like to be a superstar of your very own show, we'd love to have you as a guest. And all it takes is an email to Pug Parties or a direct message telling us that you want to be a star, and we'll do the rest. So, Puggies, until next time, have a pawsome week, and humans, be generous with the snackies. Bye.